Cristobal, his first, as Ricardo Brown was moving to the hoop.
Well, the Redmanizers have a lot of threats really to cope with. And Manny Victorino for one. Ricky Brown, of course, has been a constant threat, has been a consistent scourge for the Redmanizers. And now Jeff Collins, too, has become a big, big factor. Manny Victorino is not getting much breathing room from Abid Gidabin. By Cristobal is really making things uncomfortable for Ricky Brown.
Ricardo Brown was fouled about 3 times that time. No foul was called.
Carlton Willis. Foul this time. Carpio again. No, Alejo Lalor. Foul number 2 for Alejo Lalor. Timeout for Bernie Bernardo. Carlton Willis just bungled his first charity. Likewise his second, so the score is intact at 23-12, an 11-point lead for Great Taste. Here's Ricky Brown. By Cristobal is on him as usual. Alolo recovered by Carlton Willis. The pass inside to Jeff Collins. He goes up against Philip Cesar. Great distraction there by Philip Cesar. And the Redmanizers are running their own brand of a break. Anchored on Abid Gidabin. He ran right down the middle this time.
Well, Abid really used his height that time. Went straight to the basket. Joe, so far in the game, the referees are allowing a lot more contact than we have seen in past games. There's a lot of guys that are getting bumped.
And maybe they should call it a little bit more closely, unless they want this game to go out of hand. And there is a call by referee Victorino. Loose ball foul spotted by referee Victorino on Manny Victorino.
Well, Manny just stuck his hand in there that time. That's why he got the foul. He was reaching.
Again, Carlton Willis misses at point-blank range. 23-14, still a 9-point advantage for the Coffee men. Jeff Collins is picked up by Philip Cesar inside the paint, and he bangs it off on a frontal assault. 10 points now for Jeff. Villamin gets it over to By Cristobal. Willis squeezes right between Alolor and Carpio, and that was a great fadeaway for his 4th point tonight. 25-16, a minute and 26 left in the first quarter. Ricky Brown was left open by Cristobal. That was a defensive lapse by. He can't afford to do that very often.
Well, both teams are moving very quickly. They're wasting no time getting up their shots. They're trying to get the ball up the court as quickly as possible. It's going to be Crispa's basketball.
Oh, I'm working up an enormous appetite just covering this game, and I intend to high up the Doña Nena's restaurant right after this to partake of the wonderful Filipino cuisine they've got on their Filipino corners, such as kare-kare, adobo, and pancit molo. Why don't you join me? Drop by Doña Nena's restaurant along Makati Avenue. 55 seconds to go, 27-18. Ricky Brown.
Good screen,
yes, sir.
Good screen coming from Alolor.
And the net didn't even move. Here's Willis on his side of the floor. Willis going on a tear. That's his 2nd consecutive basket to cut down the Great Taste lead to 9. 32 seconds left in the first period. Here's Ricky Brown, Yo-Yo Villamin, and By Cristobal doubling up on him. Collins confronted by Philip Cesar. He hesitated against a 20-foot shot. Brings it all the way to the hole instead.
Well, there's only 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Crispa will get the last shot. Or maybe they won't get the last shot.
Well, they did. Carlton Willis, 8 points.
Great Taste still has a chance to put up the last one. Here comes Ricardo Brown. 3-point shot. It's good.
Brown, 3 more.
Wow. I'm going to eat my hat again. 34-22. We'll be right back. So far, Great Taste's very formidable lead of 12 points was erected with only Ricardo Brown and Jeff Collins practically coming up with the heroics. I can't imagine the fate of Crispa if the other threats like Arnie Tuadles and Bolsa Ronaldo were also fielded in by Baby Dalupan. In the meantime, let's watch Great Taste at work on his side of the basket. Collins again.
Collins really has good hang time. While everybody else is coming down, he's still in the air. Neither team made any changes during the timeout at the end of the first quarter, Joe.
That's right. We're 40 seconds into the second quarter. Philip Cesar in the left quarter court. He goes up against Manny Victorino. Offline, Abed Gidabin with a defensive rebound. Well, he's going to have the consolation prize of a foul, which will send him to the stripe for a pair of charities. Collins just picked up his first personal.
Just taking a look at some first quarter statistics, Crispa shot 52% in the first quarter compared to 59% for the Great Taste team. Both clubs shooting well. Rebounds, Great Taste had a slight edge by 2. In assists, Great Taste also had the edge by 4.
Abed Gidabin just buried his first charity to make it 36-25. Is going for his second. And as in all past Crispa games, he is always a top contender for our Magnolia Ice Cream Best Player of the Game award.
We had a substitution too. Joel Banal is in the game for Crispa now. Alalor is going to get a rest. I mean, for the Great Taste Club, Alalor is going to get a rest.
So Fabiosa is back on Ricky Brown. That's a lot less ceiling now. Watching Ricky Brown. Abed Gidabin will have to control this basketball against Manny Victorino. Philip Cesar goes around a pick set up for him by Yoye Villamin. Collins put it up. Yoye Villamin has been a very silent but effective worker. He's been using that massive body of his to bang around a lot of Great Taste Club men out of position.
Well, Joel Banal has now been assigned to pick up Carlton Willis. That's going to be a tough matchup for him, while Philip Cesar has the task of playing Jeff Collins on defense.
Well, Philip Cesar always gets the task of dealing or coping with the imports. Here is Joey Carpio inside heavy traffic, and the 25-second clock just sounded off, but it was an accident, I think. It was a foul by Bernie Fabiosa. So Great Taste will keep the basketball, and Frankie Lim rushes to the table official, still with his jacket. Who is he going to leave the jacket with?
Somebody will come and pick it up. Well, Ricardo Brown is going to get a rest here in the second quarter. Frankie Lim checks in for Great Taste.
Here is Jeff Collins. This time, Abed Gidabin's turn to try and thwart him. And this time, Abed Gidabin's turn to commit the foul.
Fabiosa.
Well,
foul
good
number
fake. 1. Yes, good fake by Jeff Collins as he got Cesar to commit up in the air. Gidabin gets the foul. Atoy Ko has just checked into the ball game for Crispa.
You can see the popularity of this young man wearing number 6 for the Crispa Redmonizers. The moment he showed up on the floor, it elicited a big cheer from the Crisp fanatics. The guy is playing with his left index finger heavily bandaged on account of a domestic accident suffered a few weeks ago. And here's Philip Cesar fielding the pass from his compadre Jeff Collins in an attempt to swipe. And a 3-second violation called by Mr. Bartolome. And Gidabin complains bitterly. At the same time, Gidabin is relieved by Jimmy Javier.
Surprise substitution this early in the game, seeing Jimmy Javier for Abed Gidabin.
Right, that was only the first personal for Abed Gidabin. 37-28, 9-point lead for Great Taste. Turnaround by Jeff Collins. Follow up by Joey Carpio. The two JCs on the floor wreaking havoc on Crispa. Joey Carpio, Jeff Collins. I'm a JC too.
Well, Joey Carpio just picked up his second personal foul as Villamin tried to make his move to the hoop. Ani Tuales checks into the game for Great Taste. Victorino gets the rest.
Javier.
And Willie Pearson checks in for the Redmonizers. Javier, barely a few seconds into the game, is again placed in the cooler by Bernie Bernardo. I think that was just a stopgap measure there by Bernie Bernardo putting him in.
Well, what happened was Victorino just got a rest, so Coach Bernie feels as though he's better off having Pearson playing Ani Tuales than Jimmy Javier.
And the wisdom of that decision will be borne out by the developments that will ensue. A miss by Frankie Lim from the corner, a loose ball foul.
Loose ball foul, Collins.
Collins.
Yes, Collins is going to have to watch himself. He has 2 personal fouls here in the first half. The Great Taste Club cannot afford to have him in foul trouble.
By the way, don't leave us at halftime of this game because we shall be bringing you our Pepsi Challenge PBA Hot Shot Contest, which is now approaching its climactic stage. One of the finest sideshow attractions dreamed up for the PBA Third Conference, sponsored by Pepsi Cola. And here is Jeff Collins, smothered by Willie Pearson, but he also got a slice of Collins' hand. No, it was Atoiko's foul.
Well, it's going to send Jeff Collins to the line for 2 shots. Jeff really forced the action that time. He had a wide open Frankie Lim to his right, but he was fouled.